Okay, so next one. 35 weeks, we finished fundraising for a family friend, and I had 5 weeks to go. I was humongous, and very, very sad and totally emotional and heavy and scared. Man, I was scared of having to give birth again. This time I'd gone and done hypnobirthing, so I was feeling a little more confident with the birthing process this time round. Silly me. And I was feeling really guilty about my eldest, about having to leave her and go through this process, and anyway, that's a lot to do with depression as well. Guilt is very much a part of how I operate with depression. And fear for me has always been a really big thing. That shows me when I start to get fearful for my loved ones' health and well-being, as in, oh my God, my husband's going to have a car accident on the way home, and that's going to be the end of that, and what happens then? Or while I was pregnant with the second one, I was always very, very concerned about having the eldest one at school, and she fell over one day. I was very, very pregnant, and I got this call from the school, and I could hear her down in the sick bay screaming her lungs out, and she had fallen and split her head open on the corner of the of a wall. Now, even to this day, she says this little boy tripped her, so she would know I wasn't there. Anyway, my birthing experience second time round was only slightly better than first time round, and that can be another whole video. And I had complications, so I was in hospital for 7 days, and that left me very vulnerable. And again, the baby didn't want to feed, and she cried. Not as much as the other one at this stage, but she cried. Took her home and persevered with the breastfeeding to the point where she was, poor little thing, 5 weeks old, and her big sister brought home conjunctivitis. So she ended up with conjunctivitis at 5 weeks old, and a cold or a flu type thing when she was 7 weeks old. Now, as we know, immunisations are at 8 weeks old. I didn't want her to be immunised, but again, I was already suffering the effects of postnatal. I'd already been to the doctor at 5 weeks going, there's a problem, I know there's a problem, it feels like there's a problem, I need something, I need to do something, which of course is alarming for both me and my GP, because she knows I don't do pharmaceuticals, and I not fight her, but challenge why I need them at every step of the way. But I trust her with my life. So I don't trust a lot of doctors, but I do trust her. I know that she has got my best interests at heart, because she's the only doctor that discovered an illness that had been going on for 8 weeks, instead of chucking me on yet another course of antibiotics for something that they didn't realise or know or have any understanding on what was really going on. She listened. She actually listened to what I was saying, and gave me something else, and of course that cleared up that particular thing, and I haven't been on that stuff for years. I was only on it probably 6 months, maybe a little bit more, but not for much longer. Anyway, I regress. So I started taking a very low dosage of Prothiotin. That seemed to have benefited me in the last time. Again, back to, didn't realise that it was subtherapeutic, but that it did work. For me, it worked. It was a good one for me, and it's one for breastfeeding mums, because I was really concerned about what was going to cross over into the milk. Now would I do it? I don't know. I'd need to do a bit more research on it, but as I'm never going to have another baby, it's all good. I don't need to worry about it. So at 9 weeks old, her immunisations were given, and let me tell you, our world fell apart. what was probably a mild depression went to severe. In 2 days, my little girl went from being willing to drink, either from the breast or from a bottle, to being so super fussy. We went to a paediatrician out in Castle Hill who didn't listen, who wasn't the slightest bit interested in the fact that me as her mum knew. Remember, mums, we deal with them 24/7. We know what's wrong with our babies. We may not have the medical terms for it, but we know there's something that's not right. So please don't ever let a doctor put you down or shut you up to say that it's wrong. If I had that belief back then, I would have found another paediatrician, which I did in the end. We went to him 3-4 times a week, trying to figure out what was going on with this baby, who wouldn't eat. She wouldn't eat. He changed her formulas nearly every second day, took her off breast milk because, you know, it was my fault that she was sick. Not that there was anything wrong with the immunisation process. Anyway, oh goodness. After 2 weeks of that, I surrendered going to him. I just went, no more. But I went to 3 of the biggest hospitals in Sydney. I'll tell you my experience on that later.